Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode. And this is going to be about Candace Owens. And I'm going to make this episode really quick because I honestly do not follow her. I don't know a great deal about her. But what I have just seen recently, I just wanted to speak on it because, with everything that's going on in the world right now, especially in the United States with regards to the protest and, mainly peaceful protesting, but, there's definitely been another element to it as well from a lot of different people. It's not a lot of times what the media tries to portray it to be, or who they try to portray it to be. But that's another subject for another time that I'm not really going to go into and talk about myself, because there's a lot of other people talking about it. So I'll allow you guys to just listen to those voices and do your research. But Candace Owens, she is a Black woman. Clearly, she is not biracial. She, to my knowledge, is a Black woman that was raised by Black parents. So she's not like someone who was raised by someone that adopted her that's another race, and she's just not really identifying with who she is. But she is someone that just kind of came out of nowhere, it seems, and she is a huge supporter of the President of the United States. I'm not gonna just go out there and say the name, but we all know who that is. And she just comes across as someone who really doesn't like herself very much. And this is the reason that I feel this way. But she comes out, she's always talking about how much she supports the president and that he is the best, president that this country has ever had and has done more for Black people than any other president prior. I don't know if that is the truth or not, but I'm not here to debate that, and that's not even what I'm here to really talk about. But she did a Facebook Live, and again, I don't follow her, so this is something that I saw someone else watching, and I was really appalled by it because she has been known to make controversial, statements and just kind of really go there. But I say that she just seems like she doesn't really like herself very much is because a lot of times people who don't really like themselves are always judgmental of others who are similar to them. And not only just those who are similar to them, but they're just judgmental about pretty much everyone that they don't really care for. And it's usually because it's something either within themselves or something within their family, or some people that they're really close to that they didn't really care for. So they're calling it out in other people. That's just my observation. I don't know anything about her background. I don't know anything about her family. But she made this video, this Facebook Live, where she was talking about George Floyd and how she just can't sit idly by and allow people to make him out to be a martyr when she says, quote, George Floyd was a horrible human being. And she also did this on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, June the 4th, she was invited to go to the White House to speak to the vice president about how the nation can move forward with, everything that's going on right now. And I'm thinking, dude, what? You're calling her in to talk about how the nation can move forward, with regards to race relations, when she doesn't even like herself, let alone her own race. And guys, when I speak about this, I'm not speaking from the heart of being a Democrat, because I'm neither. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a conservative. I am someone who is a believer in the Word of God, and I also am someone who just kind of sees things. I don't like to speak about a lot of politics because it's very poisonous. It's very you know, it's very divisive. You're either on this side or you're on this side. You have to either be with us or you're against us. And I don't believe that life is that way, because life is not black and white. Even though there's a lot of talk about black and white right now, there's so many other things besides black and white. So life is so much bigger than that. And we are all, as you all may or may not know, as I am a believer in the Word of God, I am a believer that we are spirit beings having a human experience, and there is no race in the spirit realm. And this side is so temporal, but eternity is forever. So it's just very divisive, all of these different things, when people are just about, I'm black, you're white, you're Latino, you're Asian, you're, whatever. It's so much bigger than that. But this woman, Candace Owens, she titles herself as a black conservative activist, and she is a big, supporter of the president. And she just kind of came out of nowhere, it seems, when the president was running for office the first time he was running. And now she's got millions upon millions of followers. A lot of people who love her follow her, and a lot of people who hate her follow her. And that tends to be the way it is with polarizing figures, because I'm quite sure a lot of people that follow the president on Twitter does not support him or like him, but they're following him so that they can make comments and stuff like that. I don't follow any of these people. So I just kind of see what I see in the headlines, and then I examine, and then I make my determination based on what I'm able to read and what I'm able to research. But she's been taking a lot of heat because she's been talking about George Floyd's criminal past and his drug use record that he has. And, she's been saying that black people are the only race of people that will stand up for people who really didn't mean the community any good and who are up to no good. But then she said she wants justice for his family. Here's where I have the issue with Candace Owens with regards to this situation. There's a statement that says, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. She could have really just kept her mouth shut. What does his criminal past or present, even though he's gone now, even, if he did something that warranted him being arrested, what did he do that caused him to lose his life? I'm sorry, that police officer that was kneeling on his neck was the one that caused him to lose his life. He did not have a drug overdose and die right there on the streets when they put handcuffs on him. He caused this man's death. So for her to have a Facebook Live where she's literally going down the list of all of the charges and the convictions that he has had in his past, I just was like, why is this even relevant? Why are you even talking about this? Because the people who are out there protesting, they're not protesting saying that George Floyd was a great man who never did any wrong in his life. That's not what people are saying. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen anyone saying that. When people are saying that, his life mattered and he was a black man, they're saying that, not saying that all lives, don't matter. But what they're saying is his life mattered too, even if he was guilty of a crime, or he was being charged with a crime, or he was being arrested for a crime. His life did not have to be taken. And this police officer played judge, jury. He played police officer, judge, jury, and just giving him the sentence of death. And I didn't hear this woman come out and say anything about Dylan Roof, who killed all of these people in this church. I didn't hear her come out and make any statements about him and about his past and how he was brought up and what he was taught and, how he came to believe what he believed and felt that he had to try to start a race war or whatever. Like, it was crazy. And this guy is still alive. And he killed 9 people in a church and hurt others. There's some that got shot that thankfully did not lose their life. But this kid, guy, man, whatever he was charged with, I believe he was charged as an adult. It's crazy that Candace Owens is on a Facebook Live talking about George Floyd's criminal record and saying that she does not stand for him because of his life and lifestyle, and saying that, he shouldn't be held up as a martyr. I don't know anyone that's holding him up as a martyr. The people who are speaking good about him, that's normal, because that's what friends and family do after someone loses their life. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we all have known of 1 or 2 people who've passed away, and in the obituary, it says nothing but good things about them in the funeral menu or whatever it's called. It's speaking positively about them. It has a nice picture of them. And at the funeral, people are speaking nice things about that person. They're not talking about that person's negative past because they're gone now. So who would sit and talk about that guy, George Floyd? Who would sit and talk about his criminal past when he's no longer here? It is the same as if someone were to pass away and they had a funeral. Even if the person was horrible, they're going to say good things about that person. They're not going to sit and dwell on the horrible, negative, nasty, cruel, mean, whatever it is, things that person did. I remember years ago, there was a guy that I went to elementary school with. And I never saw him after elementary school, but in elementary school, this guy was a bully. He was a bully to the point where he would grab girls' heads and slam them into the chalkboard, and he would beat people up, and he was a pretty big kid for elementary school. And speaking about it now, you guys may say, oh, whatever, he was in elementary school, but he was back then that way, and he grew up to be worse, and he was in that criminal lifestyle, and then apparently later on he got killed, but that was the life that he led. He led that life from a child up until he was an adult, and then I believe maybe around the age of maybe 18, between 18 and 20 years old. I can't remember exactly how old he was when he got killed. He lived that lifestyle, and then he died by that lifestyle. But you know what I never heard anyone say? They never said anything negative about him. And in my mind, I was thinking that guy was horrible. He was mean in elementary school, and he did not get any better. He got worse, and that is one of the reasons why he lost his life as early as he did. So I say all of that to say, when someone dies, you're not going to hear the majority of the people talking negatively about that person, because when someone leaves the side, their life in some way, shape, or form is usually going to be celebrated. And because of the way this guy died in such a public, humiliating way, his family and his friends, they are going to celebrate him. They're not going to say, you know what, he was nothing but a crackhead. You know what, he was always in and out of jail. You're not going to hear his child's mother say, you know what, he was a deadbeat. He never took care of my child. I'm glad he's gone. Even if those things are true, because I don't know. But what I am saying is you're not going to hear that in the public eye. But people are not holding him up as a martyr. They're going to speak on the negative things because that was the person that they knew, that was their friend, that was their family member, and they're in the public eye right now. So they're going to speak positively about him. And let's just be 100% honest here too. That money that's being raised in that GoFundMe, the millions and millions of dollars that have already been donated, let alone other promises of taking care of his child and different things like that. I believe Kanye West said that he's going to take care of the daughter. I think he set up a $2 million college fund already for the little girl, and amongst other things that are being done. So I'm quite sure that the money and the gifts that are being promised and that have already been pledged doesn't hurt them, in any way, but it actually helps them to speak a little bit more positively about him, because if he wasn't in the public eye right now, and he wasn't getting all of the attention that he has been getting, and he didn't have a life insurance policy, and he, wasn't able to take care of any debts that he left behind, and the child that he left behind, and any other responsibilities, whether it's persons or property, responsibilities that he left behind, and people were stuck fitting the bill and trying to figure out what they're going to do, then yeah, there might be some grumbling, and there might be some, what was never any good, but they're not going to say that in the public. That usually doesn't happen. So I'm just saying all of those things to say that what Candace Owens said in this Facebook Live, it really was not her place to do that. She didn't have to say anything to the public. If she wanted to talk to her amongst her friends and, her little inner circle and say those things, fine. Because, people are already doing that. They're already going to do that. But did she have to go there? She didn't have to do that. And I just wonder, well, I already know what it is, so I don't even have to wonder. I know that every time she comes out and she does stuff like this, it is to fatten her pockets. And this is a hot button topic right now. So she's definitely speaking out on it because it is going to put more dollars in her pocket, because she is speaking to a particular segment of people that want to hear stuff like this and will agree with her wholeheartedly, 100%. So again, guys, I don't speak as a liberal or a conservative, a Republican or a Democrat, because I am neither. That stuff is divisive and it's dangerous, and it's already been proven to be that way. So that's why I've never been either of those things. So what Candace Owens said, it was 100% uncalled for, but she did it for a reason. She did it for a purpose, and it was for profit. Plain and simple. Her being the type of supporter that she is of the president. I'm not saying that if you're black, you can't support the president. Everybody has the right to choose who they like, who they don't like. We all have personal preferences. But for someone like her, who came out of obscurity to now having millions upon millions of followers, and she's just such a huge, staunch, presidential supporter, and she always comes out and has something negative to say about a black person in a situation like this, I just often wonder, why did she have to do it? But then I get my answer, and it's for profit. So those are just my thoughts. You're welcome to leave yours in the comment section respectfully. But guys, I am the Minister of Beauty, here to share the Bible. That's business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. So thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And until the next episode, have an amazingly blessed and beautiful day.